Assalamu alaikum viewers, and welcome to the program Black and White with Rabia Ali. Viewers, today we are going to talk about the changing dynamics of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If we go through the contours of these changes, we can link up with global agenda. Matter of fact is that Arab world always possessed a significant place in great power politics. The world masters are pushing their emblematic agenda of creating flashpoints around the Arab world. To accomplish this, viewers, you must have experienced the upcoming changes in the Saudi Arabia by the present ruler, Mr. Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, with the title of Liberalization and more rights to the people. No doubt, it's very much needed and it should take place, but the way it is happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that is making me a bit uncomfortable. As if I refer to the history of statecrafting, the abrupt and rapid changes never pay off to the nations. Why I am saying so? Because if I go to the history of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we all are witnesses of some shaking moves resulting strengthening the element of extremism within the society. And let me say one more thing here, that all these kind of abrupt and rapid changes in the state policy with the beautiful flower title was welcomed and well supported by the West. In a very recent past, the new pact of supplying defense equipments from the USA to KSA is asking my intentions to dive deep down for digging out the ulterior motives under the carpet. Somehow, I am compelled to say that present moves of the Saudi ruler against his family and other prominent figures of the associated tribesmen by putting them behind bars and recovering huge amounts from them will create wild tides in the political arena of KSA. Along with it, major shifts in present domestic policies in the name of liberalization and more freedom are also going to complement the grievances of the lot, which has been hit hard by the ruler in the name of corruption. And on top of this move, signing a defense supplying contract with the USA would work as a finishing of baking cake with a topping of flavor and colorful cream. Loading of KSA with the weapons of power and massive destruction capabilities, rapid changes in state policies, along with political polarization within the Arab League will be a reason to cultivate new grounds for breeding of extremism. And the funny part is that these radical groups, through third party, will surely be supported by the West. Viewers, you would be very much right to think of my views that why I'm talking like a crazy person. I might be sounding like that, but I have a reason to believe this. Can you deny the facts when the USA was claiming that Iraq is possessing weapons of mass destruction, and after destroying that nation and country, they just simply said to the world that sorry, our information was wrong. Secondly, don't you remember after supporting Taliban and the Mujahideens and other radical groups, what the State Secretary of USA, Madam Hillary Clinton said? Let me show you that clip first.
That we had a huge trust deficit, in part because the United States had, to be fair, we had helped to create the problem we're now fighting. How? Because when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, we had this brilliant idea that we were going to come to Pakistan and create a force of mujahideen, equip them with Stinger missiles and everything else to go after the Soviets inside Afghanistan. And we were successful. The Soviets left Afghanistan, and then we said, great, goodbye, leaving these trained people who were fanatical in Afghanistan and Pakistan, leaving them well armed, creating a mess, frankly, that at the time we didn't really recognize. We were just so happy to see the Soviet Union fall, and we thought, okay, fine, we're okay now. Everything's going to be so much better. Now you look back, the people we're fighting today, we were supporting in the fight against the Soviets.
We also have a history of kind of moving in and out of Pakistan. I mean, let's remember here, the people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago. And we did it because we were locked in this struggle with the Soviet Union. They invaded Afghanistan, and we did not want to see them control Central Asia. And we went to work. And it was President Reagan, in partnership with the Congress, led by Democrats, who said, you know what, sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's deal with the ISI and the Pakistani military, and let's go recruit these mujahideen. And Let's great. Let's get some to come from Saudi Arabia and other places, importing their Wahhabi brand of Islam so that we can go beat the Soviet Union. And guess what? They retreated. They lost billions of dollars, and it led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. So there's a very strong argument, which is, wasn't a bad investment to end the Soviet Union, but let's be careful what we sow because we will harvest. So we then left Pakistan. We said, okay, fine, you deal with the stingers that we've left all over your country. You deal with the mines that are along the border. And by the way, we don't want to have anything to do with you. In fact, we're sanctioning you. So we stopped dealing with the Pakistani military and with ISI, and we now are making up for a lot of lost time.
His Excellency Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, let me remind you, you're not the first one who has been attracted by the unipower. You fell victim to their cruelty during the fall of Ottoman Empire when Americans and European Union sent their spies to the Middle East to raise conflicts between the Arabs and the Turks and then ruled there after the defeat of the Ottoman forces. And then in a very recent past, Pakistan has been warmly embraced and supported by the USA with tons of money and defense equipment in the case of Afghanistan. And now Pakistan has been portrayed in the world heaven for terrorists, a supporter of the terrorists and blah, blah, blah. And the most glorious thing of all is that all these slogans very cleverly tricked by the USA. His Excellency Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, I would request you to take a breath and understand the footprints, which would help you to grab the ulterior motives of the USA behind his fleshy and smiling face. Mr. Excellency, I would say here that within a decade and a half, you are going to face a strong reaction by the radicals and extremist group within your national society and around the Arab League. His Excellency, mind you, the same group will be supported by the USA, as they have dealt with firstly Mujahideen, then the Taliban and other radical groups, along with proxies of insurgency which Pakistan is still facing by sacrificing the precious lives of his nation and soldiers. Hence, be ready. You are not going to be powerful and in the leading role with this gigantic support of ammunition supplied by the USA, nor this is a solution to maintain status or hegemony within the Arab League, especially Yemen. Neither it would help you against Iran and Turkey. Let me highlight a few more points for your Excellency. In the past, the occupation of Makkah was a result of the robust policy push of liberalization. And then secondly, Osama bin Laden was also a reaction of certain policies. Now the third chapter is going to open up sooner. We would request your good self that the quoted example of history should be a mirror for you to decide and formulate your future policies. Your strength and power is the Muslim countries and the Ummah, not the USA or his weapons-artillery given to you recently. The whole election campaign of President Donald J. Trump against Hillary Clinton and Obama regime was based on one narrative, that no more war in the world and no more proxies in the world, whereas his actions and policies are 180-degree opposite. For that matter, let me quote you the few contradicting utterings and actions which are undeniable fact about the personality of Mr. Donald J. Trump. His first policy for the foreign immigrants in the USA that was based on racism. His second policy, declaring Jerusalem the capital of Israel, was again a move to strengthen hate between the Muslims and the Jews. And his third policy was above all, as he was saying that Hillary Clinton and Obama were supporting extremist groups and IS. But now the question which comes into one's mind is what now? What is happening now? Isn't he also adopting those footprints? In totality, he is acting against his election campaigns of creating peace in the world. Rather, he has proved himself as obsessed and determined to create new war zones and flashpoints on the world canvas. Viewer, you must have watched the video clip in which Mr. President Trump is sitting with His Excellency Salman Al Saud, holding a big banner kind card in his hand having pictures of different kinds of aircraft, and President Trump is explaining the capabilities of these aircraft and their prices. Doesn't it sound funny to you? Because in the back of my mind, I was thinking that some sort of fixed political cricket or soccer match is going on. The way Trump was giving the card posting, the pictures of aircraft and artillery, along with Mr. Donald J. Trump's commentary that what it is and what it's worth. It was truly reminding me of the prize distribution ceremony where anchors announce the name of the sponsors, who comes up with a banner of check with the announcement that the $50,000 or $500,000 is given to XYZ against your performance. So, Mr. Excellency Mohammed bin Salman of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, be very careful of your performance. Viewers, with these lines, I would take your leave. Take good care of yourself and your national affairs. Allah Hafiz.